My name is Danya Bakhbakhi and I'm a postgraduate researcher at the University of Bristol. My PhD research examined in close detail the impact of stillbirth with the aim to develop a core outcome set to help improve future research and eventually enable us to decide what is the best care for bereaved parents and their families.
Every year, it is estimated 2 million babies are stillborn worldwide. This devastating event can have a profound impact on parents, and their lives are never the same again.
The care available to parents to minimise the impact can include the bereavement care they receive from healthcare professionals, counselling, support groups, or specialist care in a subsequent pregnancy.
But the problem is, we don't know how helpful this care is to parents and whether it really makes a difference to their lives. For example, in the way they cope with their grief, mental health, or well-being. This is because researchers in the past have focused their efforts on measuring lots of different things or outcomes which might not be important.
By developing a core outcome set, an agreed set of outcomes that should be measured and reported as minimum in all research studies, results can be combined, making research more helpful for families, healthcare professionals, and researchers.
I carried out an in-depth review of the published literature over the last 20 years with a team of researchers to find out what the impact of stillbirth is. We found that stillbirth is associated with a whole range of outcomes, not just medical care outcomes, but also outcomes related to grief and bereavement, mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, and PTSD, social outcomes, impact on relationships with partner, family, and friends, the need for support from others, economic and resource outcomes such as the impact on finances and increased hospital use, and consequences related to subsequent pregnancies.
It was vitally important in this research to capture the lived experience of parents. I interviewed a diverse range of 40 bereaved mothers and fathers from throughout the UK.
The key findings of the interviews were that stillbirth affects every aspect of life, and grief is lifelong. Parents' experience of their care and understanding why their baby died was important. Interviews identified outcomes not often measured by researchers in the past. For example, the degree of social isolation, emotional well-being, holistic outcomes such as the impact on identity, support with returning to work, and access to counselling. So what next?
By doing the literature review and the interviews, we have identified a complete list of outcomes in stage 1 of our research. We are now moving on to decide the core outcome set.
We have designed a questionnaire to choose which outcomes are important, and we're going to be carrying out an international survey and consensus meetings with bereaved parents, healthcare professionals, and researchers to prioritise what outcomes we should be focusing on. Once the core outcome set has been decided, we will share our findings and use it to work out what care is best for bereaved parents.
The success of this project would not have been without the input of bereaved parents who are co-producing every stage of this research with us. I would like to leave you with a video co-created by our parent team to explain the research in more detail to you.
If you've experienced the heartbreak of a stillborn baby, you'll know that nothing will ever take away your grief.
It happened to us, and it was the most traumatic experience of our lives. It felt as if our whole world had shattered.
And afterwards came the anxiety.
The sleepless nights.
We could barely function. So much so that I ended up losing my job.
The medical staff meant well, but the care they offered wasn't always what we really needed.
Maybe you had a similar experience.
We can't take away the grief of other parents like us, but by improving care, we can make a real difference to how quickly they can start to rebuild their lives.
That's why we're inviting you to take part in iCHOOSE, a groundbreaking research project that will help ensure that in the future, parents of stillborn babies receive the best care possible. iCHOOSE will gather ideas from bereaved parents like you, as well as healthcare professionals and researchers, so that together we can choose how stillbirth research should be focused. Your input will help us learn more from future research faster, allowing medical professionals to build a clearer picture of what grieving parents really need. Whatever your experience of care after stillbirth, whether your loss is recent or happened years ago, you can make a difference by taking part in one or more research activities. Help us give better care to grieving parents. Register your interest today at iCHOOSEresearch.co.uk.